now upon this Gold Beach. Politicians of all parties, including the Secretary of State for Defence, come here to pay their tribute and their respects. Margaret Beckett, the Deputy Leader of the Labour Party. Labour. And here on Gold Beach, they're rolling out the barrel, as they've every right to do 50 years on.
Politicians going down onto the beach, not to review the veterans, but to take up their places in the enclosure reserved for them.
Prime Minister, with General Mike Jackson, the commander of 3rd Division, 3rd UK Division, and they were the men, 3rd UK, who 50 years ago came ashore here. It's his div which have organised all this. They greet the Mayor of Arramonches and Simone Veil. Behind them, the UK has come to sing. The Navy laid a barrage. The Air Force cleared the air. England was 100 miles away.
And offshore, the vessels of the Royal Navy as they were 50 years ago. That is HMS Edinburgh, D-97, a Type 42 destroyer, the white ensign streaming proudly from her stern, and she will fire a 42-gun salute when the Queen arrives. And other ships out there, HMS Avenger, a Type 21 frigate, HMS Fearless, L-10, the assault ship, which brought the landing craft to offshore, where they were offloaded to come onto the beach, bearing the veteran standards, sailed over from Portsmouth. And in this grey atmosphere, a pale grey-green sea, the camouflage of the warships is itself as evocative as the pictures we have seen of D-Day itself, except then, of course, that horizon was obscured by smoke. Many sailors saw so little of the shore because of the smoke and of the gunfire and the smoke screens that they couldn't really understand what was going on 3 miles away from them on the coast of France.
I was told by some of the young officers who've passed through his hands at Santos recently that he's a kindly man, and I looked them hard in the eye. They then went on to explain to me that he had fear on tap.
And the Academy Sergeant Major is approaching the veteran standard bearers just in front of the ramp of the landing craft, and now we shall see marched ashore the national standard of the Royal British Legion, borne by Mr. Ray Thomas, formerly of the Coldstream Guards, and the national standard of the Normandy Veterans Association, borne by Rowley Jefferson BEM, formerly of the 8th Battalion, the Rifle Brigade, part of the famous 11 Armoured Div. The march, what could be more appropriate? Arramonches. The escort to the standards, Warrant Officer Dace.
Cox goes towards His Majesty, the Commander-in-Chief. Asked permission for his veterans to be stood at ease. Granted.
And the words of Academy Sergeant Major Cox, Your Majesty, may I have your leave for the veterans of Normandy to march past and disperse, ma'am, please.
Standard bearers! Carry! Standards!
led by Colonel David Nelson Smith, as he was then when he came ashore here and was wounded. Her Majesty, in her speech, has paid tribute to these men. The Mayor of Arramonches put it in plain old-fashioned military terms. He talked of rendering homage to them.
And watching their bearing and their march, it's hard to remember that every man and woman marching past Her Majesty is, shall we say, of a certain age.
They march in divisions of 10 by 50. Kept in line by the markers, 3rd Div, who 50 years ago were on these beaches.
And as we watch this splendid company now marching from the beach, it's appropriate to realize that for every veteran here today, there are scores who are not.